What is going on, everybody, and welcome in to everybody's favorite night of the week and favorite show of the week, SEC After Dark.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm Jay Thomas. With me, Stephen Willis, Mike Huseman. Stephen, of course, is killing it on Locked On Ole Miss. He's got a million and 1.1 million subscribers now, I believe. Something like that. Let's get
Got a bunch.
Yeah,
getting a little bit over 19,500.
That is awesome. I don't know. My camera just went out on my screen, so I do not see.
We can still see you. We can.
Okay, well, see you. It just was a different color.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, I guess since I'm taking Corey's part while he's out, his camera goes out every once in a while, so mine goes out now. So anyway, Mike Huseman, off season After Dark. That's rolling right along. Mike, how's everything going there?
Good. We had to call a timeout on this week's one. I was going to have some Sam Houston guys on, but something happened with their schedule, so we're going to push that one. Next Monday will be the Sam Houston episode. So tonight and then on Saturday, they're going to the Sam Houston spring practices. So then we're going to confab after that on Monday.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they hired an O-line coach who was former Boston College and La Tech head coach, Jack Bicknell. So that just happened within the last 2 weeks. So we'll talk about that with that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think he actually coached an Ole Miss offensive line at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been him, or his brother also did, and brother's with the Raiders now, I think. So there's two of them. Their dad was Boston College's head coach, for the Flutie Miami game and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So. I don't know what's going on tonight, but Ole Miss is hitting singles. And advancing, having productive outs and all of that. It's the weirdest thing I've seen. They have a legitimate chance to beat Florida because they're actually playing baseball tonight. It's amazing.
And Bossman just joined us. One half of Biscuits and SEC. Bossman, what's going on, brother?
Oh, not much, guys. Doing well. Good to be here tonight. Looking forward to it. Got looks like 4-on-4 tonight, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, before we go ahead.
Keep Corey's mom in your prayers if that is your type of thing. Apparently she went to the hospital tonight. That's the reason Corey isn't here. Mm-hmm. And Jeb is recovering from surgery. It all went well, but there is a recovery involved in what he was going through. So he should be back next week.
Yeah. So keep those guys in your thoughts and prayers. And guys, you know what time it is now?
It's lava.
It's lava time. We can't start the show without the lava.
Yeah, the lava has to be good.
That's the cue. That's right. So anyway, where do we want to start tonight? I mean, we've had spring practice up here for like 3 or 4 weeks now. Have yet to talk about it, but LSU staff with the Will Wade signing is very interesting as well. So, where do you guys like to kick off tonight?
Let's go spring football because Ole Miss finally started spring football. So
just
I can
now?
They are literally
because they had the delay. Yes.
The delay. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I can actually participate in spring practice right now. That's the reason I haven't been talking about it because it hadn't been happening.
Got you. Yeah. Wow. Well, Boss Man, have y'all started spring practice and what kind of storylines you got?
Yeah, it's I need to compile this for the newsletter with Biscuits and SEC. You guys may be able to help me, but there was a time where a lot of these schools basically backed off having a spring game, and we only had a couple last year.
Right.
I know that A&M is going to have a spring game. Mike Elko came out and said that as long as he's the coach at A&M, there will be a spring game. I'm hoping. I haven't seen much announcements as to who is and is not going to have one this year. Alabama is great.
Yep.
I would love to see those come back, especially since we don't have a window, a transfer window after. That was the big question mark about, why we should not do this if we're going to put kids on tape who might be poached later down the road. And the NCAA, another thing we can talk about if we want, came out and crushed the potential
Ghost transfer.
Right. Yep. So I want the spring games to come back. So from our vantage point, Mike Elko is going to have a spring game, which is great. A couple notes from A&M is one, I haven't seen an update. I just got home, but I don't know if there's been an update on it. But a couple hours ago, A&M reporters on the ground were reporting that Terry Bussey had some sort of injury, lower body injury, earlier today. So he he's a breakout candidate this year at wide receiver for the Aggies. And so if he goes down, it would be, an unfortunate loss. So hopefully he's okay and it's minor. And then the other one is we got Thornby from Alabama in the offseason to bolster the offensive line. And I believe he's moving. Remind me, where did he play at Bama?
He started at right tackle, then they moved him inside to right guard.
So I think they're moving him again, to whatever they believe his natural position is going to be. But I'll figure it out. But those are the main two notes from Aggie spring ball right now.
Yeah, there's two storylines, by the way, with the ghost transfer thing that he brought up. Mm-hmm. Spring games absolutely could come back, but since there's no opportunity to improve your squad after the spring, you're going to have spring games. Like if Ole Miss had a spring game, which they're not going to have one because they had already set that up, but you can guarantee that none of the playmakers and starters that you're counting on is anywhere near that game.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be Deuce Knight and AJ Maddox, because if a quarterback gets injured in a spring game and screws up your season, that would be a problem. So Terry Bussey, that's kind of the other side of that coin with the fact that spring games could come back. But honestly, don't play the high-level playmakers. Play a game against an FCS team, UT Martin, something like that. Televise it. Nobody can touch it until after the football season anyway. And put all the money into your collective. And if you do that, you're going to make money. And if you pay teams that you were going to play, like Ole Miss is playing Wofford this year, play Wofford in the spring, play
play Mississippi Valley State or Jackson State in the spring.
Right.
Yeah. And you can do the same thing and people would show up and that people would be excited to do it. And I think that is the future. Although Ole Miss this year is doing OTAs essentially. They started in phase 1, which is all the weight room. The phase 2 is speed practicing and shirts and shorts and no pads at all for a couple of weeks. And then 2 weeks of contact and just getting ready for game week in the fall. So that's the Ole Miss plan for what's going on. Lots of walkthroughs, lots of classrooms, stuff like that.
I know I was diving into what some of the schools aren't doing. So South Carolina, Mizzou, they're not having spring games. Mississippi State, Tennessee, Kentucky, they are having them. And Florida, I don't know. Like it was hit and miss, and everybody was saying different things. So I don't know what the Gators are doing.
Now, I think Auburn, I think Golish said that they would have a spring game.
Okay.
If I remember correctly seeing that. So we'll see.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You have a spring game where Deuce Knight's throwing the ball to Jace Matthews and Caleb Cunningham and a couple of the up-and-coming receivers and playmakers that you want to see. The freshman running backs are getting a lot of time. People would show up to see that because that is your opportunity to see that.
That's a good point.
I think that's a lot that's been lost. It was sad when so many of them canceled them last year. It's part of the fan experience. You know what I mean? People come from all over and the stadium might not be full, but I remember when I was a kid going to like when the University of Virginia was good, they were Al Groh years. They were top 15 just about every year, top 20. And, as a kid going there and getting the autographs of the players and, the roster, right? You're going to go, I need to get the autograph of this guy and this guy and this guy. Like the kids love it. So it's a fun spring day to go out to. So I'm glad that at least some schools are starting to bring those back.
Yeah.
Speaking of Virginia news, Chandler Morris did not win his appeal today.
Oh.
Yeah, for all the grief that state courts got, they essentially got all of these right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So that means that Clemson's going to be stuck with Vizima or Vizima, whatever.
Christopher Vizima.
Yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama's own.
If you believe the ghost transfer stuff, I don't know what would have happened there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Chandler Morris thing, he was destined to be Clemson's quarterback.
Yeah.
He did publicly say he was going to go back to UVA if he won his appeal, but who knows?
Yeah,
Say a lot of things.
Especially after UVA got those other two guys in the portal. Crazy enough, got one of the best QB rooms in the country.
Oh,
yes.
Overnight.
It was a comeback, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Rick brings up a good point. This was another one I actually forgot. There actually has been a lot of like news things coming out.
Greg Byrne
talking about he thinks the SEC championship game ought to go by the wayside. I like Greg Byrne. I think he's a great AD. I couldn't disagree more on this point. I understand it. I get where we're going, but
Steve has been saying
I will shed 0 tears if they don't have the game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't register anymore to me.
Yeah, right now they don't have an AFC South championship game.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be the AFC South. I don't care about the NFL.
What the problem is, Greg Sankey pissed down his leg. That's the problem. If you would have taken the automatic qualifiers, which was the agreement before last year's social media pressure started, you have the championship game 1 and 2 and the play-in games of 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 on championship Saturday, and it becomes an event.
Right.
But the SEC's like, oh, we need to just take the best teams. We can get 9 teams in. They're just believing their own hype. Take the 4. You got 3 at-larges to compete with. If you do well, you're going to get 2 of them. So 6 of the teams are going to be in a 16 playoff. But you have 9 SEC games, 8 more losses, and there's no guarantee of anything. And the SEC might have 2 teams in.
Right.
Like I wasn't like snapping back like perfect world saying that was a bad idea. It's under the current system, it doesn't make sense to have the championship games. Perfect world, it would be great to have them. I mean, they're some of the funnest games we'll watch are various conference title games. But right now, I mean, it only caused us chaos last year because did Bama deserve to be a playoff team? Is the debate we had after they lost that game.
They did beat Oklahoma in the playoffs. So
I'm going to sound like old man, on the lawn, right? But I love the conference championship games. I think they matter. I love the drama of them, and also the interconference, rivalries of them, right? Like the
in
story.
'98, we knocked K-State out of the title game, so we should never go away with them.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
SEC legend R.C. Slocum coach.
Right.
The automatic qualifiers, the 4-4, 2.5, 2.5, 3, or whatever it was, something like that. And you have the third team in the Big 12 take on the third team in the ACC, and the winner gets that third bid. I mean, it would work. It would be amazing. The Big 10 was right about this.
The 2.5 bowl would be the most exciting game of the weekend.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Like Clemson's playing against Kansas State or something like that, or Arizona. It'd be amazing.
I remember last year.
It's almost like a bowl game.
Oh, it would have been BYU
New Year's Day bowl.
Miami last year. It would have been a great game.
Yeah.
Because of the weird 5-way tie we had in the ACC, it would have been Miami at third, actually.
Right.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Miami and BYU playing for the right to go. Oh man, that would be amazing.
That would be. Yeah. But
Miami didn't win.
No, BYU lost in the conference title game. I'm wrong about BYU there.
Who did BYU play? Was that Iowa State?
No, Arizona State.
No, that was the year before.
Oh, or you took Texas Tech? Texas Tech was.
It was Texas Tech who beat
Texas Tech.
BYU.
Okay, so that was the 2. So the third one would have been Colorado.
Would have been Utah, Miami.
Utah, Miami. That would.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Sign me the freak up.
Yeah.
You want to see good line play in that game? Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Man, you're sitting here, and the SEC teams would have been what? Let's see, Georgia, Ole Miss. A&M, weren't they in the?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And who would have been the third? Well, I guess it would have been Oklahoma. Oklahoma hosted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oklahoma.
So it would have been Oklahoma, A&M, Ole Miss, and Georgia. And
Ole Miss, Georgia were one. Yeah, so Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah, Texas ended up going to the SEC title game, but Ole Miss was the second team in the rankings.
Yeah.
So it might have been Texas.
It was Alabama. It was Alabama, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. This past year, it's Alabama, Georgia.
So Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, and A&M would have been locks to go to the playoff, and then like Oklahoma would have gotten an at-large in that situation, and so would have A&M. Oh, the SEC would have had 6 teams in last year if they would have done the automatic qualifiers.
Right.
Yeah, but they have to be too smart, and they believe there it just means more commercials too much.
Because Texas would have had a chance to go in that scenario where they didn't in real life.
And Vandy won 10 games and didn't go. That's ridiculous. That's almost bias at this point.
I mean, you'll never convince me both of those teams deserve to go, though, with Texas and Vandy. Like, I would have argued other teams should have went before them in.
Well, Vandy, even though Texas beat Vandy by 2 points or something, Vandy deserved to go to the playoff over Texas.
They had better wins.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Vandy's loss was against top 10 teams on the road.
Right.
Texas lost to Florida.
They did.
And went to overtime and to Kentucky too.
Yeah.
Their other losses were the top 5 teams, though.
No, they went to overtime against Mississippi State too.
Mississippi State, and Mississippi State. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, there were some warts there for now. Texas figured out by the end of the year they were pretty good, but
right.
They're
good against Michigan.
It was rough. Yeah.
Good against A&M. Sorry.
Of course,
I'm like Men in Black with that one. Just I don't remember that game.
I don't think Sharon Moore was on the sideline for that game, which is lucky because the Texas dance team is pretty top notch.
He wouldn't be able to call plays. He'd be too busy.
Yeah.
Can confirm Biff Poggi was the head coach for Michigan that game.
Yeah, and he's sitting there in like a cutoff T-shirt, and he doesn't care about the Texas 100%. Dance team.
No,
the dude's worth like $300 million from a hedge fund he did before he started coaching.
Yeah,
I wish he had gotten the Michigan head job. They made the right decision, but
I love that dude. He is. There's no nonsense with him.
He's great. If y'all haven't seen the HBO documentary of the school that he coached in Maryland, it was a Catholic school there.
Yeah,
and he revived them. It's fantastic. Well,
DeMatha?
Was it Gilman? I think it was Gilman.
Was it Gilman?
He coached a couple of them, but I think that one was Gilman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll find the title for you guys. So anybody out there wants to watch it. The Cost of Winning. It is Biff Poggi. He is I think it's Gilman. So he led Gilman's. Is that right though? Because Gilman, no, it was his tenure at St. Francis Academy. That's the one. Because Gilman's like a lot of money, all that.
Yes.
This was not that. Yeah. This was one of the inner city ones that he kind of revived and helped bring up. So well worth a watch.
I think St. Francis is like Wayne Dorsey. He played at Ole Miss. Defensive lineman.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some sort of connection there. I have no idea how he ended up in Mississippi from Maryland, but
I know Shane Lee, Alabama, played for Biff there.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So speaking of Michigan, we can get on a little tangent here for a second. How do y'all think that Whittingham's going to do in year 1 up there? Underwood, all that? I mean, I really don't know.
I have heard nothing about him taking clocks off the wall, so I don't know what to think.
Yeah,
right.
That roster's pretty good. They were going to be better even if Moore was still there, and I don't think he's a very good coach. Whittingham brought in one of the best D coordinators in the country, Jay Hill, who was at BYU. His old coordinator came with him, Jason Beck. And now,
top 10 coach.
Did you guys see? After 20 years together, Utah is now suing Kyle Whittingham.
Oh my God!
They sued him. I didn't see that.
They are suing him. Apparently, so it goes back to the end of the season, and because there was kind of a, did he retire? Did they agree? Did he step away? Apparently, he had the Kirk Ferentz thing in his contract where basically if he doesn't opt out, it just rolls over. And he said he was going to keep coaching. Then he said, I want a raise for me and the assistant coaches. And Utah told him to take a hike. when he said that, of all things.
And he did.
They agreed to pay him $13 million, 8.5 of which they had to pay within 1 month. And they did. So after he gets that money, this is around the time he took the Michigan job, and the Utah's AD sends him an email saying, like, I'm disappointed about how you handled this and taking another job. And apparently Utah is using ambiguous language in their separation deal that the transition to the next coach was supposed to be seamless and smooth. They're saying by him taking another job, that doesn't qualify as that. So they don't want to pay him the other $5 million they owe him.
Yeah.
And he took a couple assistants, right? That I think was a big sticking point.
Yeah.
They were like, you couldn't,
because they probably wanted an assistant like Bet to be the next head coach.
Yeah.
Remember, Utah is one.
The D coordinator is the new head coach.
Right. That's right.
And remember, Utah is, I think, the first school that privatized their athletic department with private equity.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And this feels like private equity happened. This is the private side. That's the reason this is different, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's a great point, Steve. I mean, we'll see how that all plays out. And I mean, I know they paid him the $8 million, but hey, Sue, we're going to save us another $8 mil, put that back on our bottom line instead of on, this guy. And on the flip side, I think that was in part why Whittingham was kind of like, I think I'm done here. Like, I think I'm ready to go. If you take the private equity part of it out, I mean, Kyle Whittingham, he's been named for jobs for the last 10 years, right? He hasn't taken any of them. And so it seemed like he was going to, okay, I'm going to retire a Ute, why wouldn't I? And then the private equity thing happens. It seems like he's kind of like, I don't know about that. And he's like, yeah, give me a raise, which I think was more like, I'm ready to get the
They said the number that I heard was between him and all the assistants, he wanted $6.5 million more total for everybody.
Wow.
Not a massive number when you're talking 11 coaches.
No,
it's not at all. So they were willing to pay him 13 to leave, but not 6 for a raise for him and assistant coaches.
Yeah. Well, that might have been with years left on his contract. They might not have been able to wiggle out of that number, but still, it's illogical. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And the other thing that you could point out is maybe the Big 12 is broke.
Perhaps.
Maybe $6 million is a lot. The ROI isn't there.
Just call Cody Campbell. They're on good terms.
That I was going to say, are we now in a situation where everybody's just looking up to A&M or to Tech money wise? We might be.
Oh
yeah. Well, in the Big 12.
In the Big 12.
That's what I'm saying. Big 12. Yeah.
But right now the Big 12 commissioner and Cody Campbell are basically fighting online. They're having a Twitter spat.
Yeah.
To where Brett Yormark actually said Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. And it was like, really? I don't know. He was kind of the representative in the president's office. I mean, you might want to let him know.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it for Tech because honestly, if you're sitting here watching college football, it's like they watched the TV series Landman and was like, oh my goodness, we're rich. And that's the way it came across. And all of a sudden they started throwing money around, like Texas and A&M does. And it was just hilarious because they were the ultimate epitome of an also ran forever. And honestly, they still are. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but they're at least throwing money around. You got the Lubbock tax out there. We're having to pay $1 million or $2 million more for every recruit because Lubbock's in the middle of nowhere. And it's crazy.
Yeah. They're the guy that came into money, like A&M, Texas, some of these other schools, Ohio State, like they've all had money for, a long time. A&M's a little newer to it, but that was really the Johnny Manziel. The Johnny Manziel thing woke them all up. Like there was money there. They were all just like, I don't really know about this. And then Johnny Manziel came and they were like, you can have all my money, like whatever you want. Take my money.
Has Auburn always had some money, or did that just come up with the Cam Newton stuff? Like, I'm not as familiar with their
No,
history.
they got the Yellowwood guy.
Yeah.
And the CEO at Apple, although I don't know if he supports athletics.
Yeah, Steve, what's his name?
Tim Cook.
Yeah, I don't know if he does or not. I know the Yellowwood guys all.
I've never heard there was an Apple guy with Auburn. That's wild.
Yeah.
The
Yellowwood guy is all in on the football team.
Yeah. Jimmy Rain basically runs that athletic department, or at least he did.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And by the way, talking about the new money thing, you got like SMU looking at Texas just with their nose up. It's like, good grief. Nuevo Rich.
Well, I don't think with SMU, I don't think it's that they're new money. It's that they can finally spend it again, and they've always had.
Oh yeah, they're the only school in the country that had a 5-year run at NIL in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they've been having money.
Yeah, we shocked that they're good.
Yeah.
What is his name? Sherwood something. Whoever the guy that did it. He has to be just like, all right. Although he's not public about it now. But
was it Sherwood Blunt? Was that it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that got the Pony Express going back in the day.
Yeah.
I still love the Eric Dickerson and them calling the car the Trans A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good stuff. Yeah, that's funny.
I want to bring this up since it kind of ties in with the LSU staff thing. But did you see Ruffino and Joe Show that they tweeted out a few days ago the best SEC athletic departments? And of course, they're kind of biased, but they had LSU at number 1.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, yeah. But
LSU memes this week have been top notch.
Yeah,
just the different memes about Wade and Lane and Mulkey and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
My favorite thing is the tweet that referred to Wade, Kiffin, and Mulkey as the lion, the bitch in the wardrobe.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
That one right there is like that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite thing is one day Lane's coming back out after spring practice talking about what's going on. We need to be patient about what's going on because he has no offensive line. I mean, that's the secret behind what's happening over there. There's nobody on the offensive line really. And then it's like the next day it comes out, LSU might have spent $50 million on their transfer portal haul. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's patience is not possible under that.
No. If they go 7-5, oh my God.
Other than Jordan Seaton, they don't have many experienced guys up front.
No, they don't.
And he can pass protect, but he has been a liability run blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and wasn't there a donor or like an anonymous source that was quoted in that LSU story about the $50 million, and they basically said, "Yeah, we spent on this money so that we don't have to wait for this. Like we're gonna win in year 1." And literally, it was like the day after Lane Kiffin.
It's like be patient.
Yeah.
Great.
My! If they throw up a 5-7 or a 6-6 this year, there could be a tarmac. There could be a tarmac.
Oh man,
it could happen at 7-5. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean,
and my goodness, have you guys seen Lane lately? I mean, how much spray tan can a person have? Good grief!
He's spending a lot of time on TikTok, it seems. And
oh my gosh!
Yeah. He looks like George Hamilton. He's trying to run around Baton Rouge like he's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
He's gonna get in so much trouble down there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Yeah. I don't think people realize I don't think he realizes the fishbowl. And I think the George Hamilton thing is about right. Yeah.
I agree.
I think I said this on Biscuits SEC either a couple weeks ago or whatever, but it was whenever this quote came out. This was around a week ago or so, and he says this, and we've talked about this even before though with Curt Cignetti after the national title. Right, he gets this thing done in 2 seasons at Indiana, maybe one of the worst programs of all
record-wise,
time.
the worst.
The worst. Yep.
And Kurt Cignetti does this in 2 years at Indiana, right? So the clock and the excuses and all that, it went from 4 years, 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And then it kind of got, with the transfer portal, it's like, okay, 3 years. We're down to no. It has to happen in
this year
or 2 years. No, you don't have time. So that was what surprised me the most about that tweet from Lane or that quote from Lane was read the room, man. Kurt Cignetti can do this at Indiana with their resources and, their history and all that in two years and get them to the playoffs in year one. At LSU, there is less than zero excuses. It has to happen, period.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Greatest transfer portal class in the history of transfer portal classes.
Yeah.
And if they don't make the playoff, it is going to be so much madness.
Here's what they remind me of is the Yankees when they got A-Rod and all Jeter. They just bought everybody, right? That was Steinbrenner's thing for so long. Just buy them, just throw a big contract to whoever the big free agent is. And we'll see. I mean, look, maybe it worked. Those Yankees got one championship. They probably should have gotten 3 or 4.
They should have got several.
Should have gotten a lot, but they only got one. And so that's what LSU's doing. They're saying we think we can buy a championship. And but those things, those are finicky, man. How does that team mesh? How does that team gel? Does that work or does it not? Those things can easily blow up. Yeah,
they thought they were going to get Trinidad Chambliss.
Right.
Lane spent the whole month of November recruiting Trinidad, bringing him on Pat McAfee with all of that stuff, trying to get him. And then when it looked like Trinidad wasn't going to be eligible, he went to find another thing. And Sam Levitt came available, brought him to LSU. Then Damon Williams was available, and they went after him and just completely screwed over Sam Levitt on the building. So you had to spend $2 million extra for a quarterback that threw for 88 yards against Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they got 3 quarterbacks and 10 or 11 wide receivers and no trench play at all. None. Their whole offensive line at LSU hit the portal. So it's going to be Devin Harper, who was going to play a little bit for Ole Miss potentially this year, and Jordan Seaton and a bunch of dudes. And in this league, that's going to be a problem, especially with the quarterback that had a foot injury.
Yeah, I was going to say we all know how much and how important trench play is in the SEC. I mean, games are won and lost in this conference in the trenches.
And usually LSU's they're known for that, right? Their history, that's what they're known for. They are mean in the trenches. They bully you in the trenches.
Yep.
Defense, they suffocate you, right? And they're coming downhill. It hasn't always been that way over the last, 8-ish years, 6 to 8 years.
Especially the defense.
Right. Especially
and the next running quarterback that Blake Baker stops will be his first.
If he ever does that.
Yeah. I mean, that thing with Jalen Milroe down in Baton Rouge, that, just up and down the field, and Marcel Reed looking like Mike Dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck, Trinidad ran for 60, 70, 80 yards in that game, threw for 300. He does not do that well.
No.
So if the over-under is set, I haven't looked at the over-under, but if the over-under for LSU is set at 9 this year, where are you taking?
Under.
Under.
Okay.
That schedule's tough.
The under.
Because they've already lost their top run-stopping defensive end and Relaford, and they have no way to replace it. And you cannot convince me that Lane Kiffin wasn't ready to be involved in the ghost transfer market before there was a penalty to do it. He was going to be all over that. He was getting ready to poach somebody off of Ole Miss's roster in May. That was going to happen. Now that's not an option. So you just lost a defensive lineman. Your defensive line just got worse. And if there's any other injuries or whatever happens, now you have to be lucky or your trench play is going to be bad.
Yeah.
You brought up the point that started off, though, was interesting, Boss Man. You just talked about the expectations there. And I was looking at some stuff this week, and it originated with Kiffin, but it just spread to the concept of how much less patient we are with college football than we used to be. And it gave 3 of the 5 best head coaches ever: Bobby Bowden, Tom Osborne, Joe Paterno. Paterno took him 17 years to win a national title. That was the quickest of the 3. Bowden took 18 years. Osborne, it took 21 years to win a national title.
Right.
Like, we're never – John Wooden, who won all these in basketball, won, I think, 11. Took him 16 years to win a national title at UCLA.
Yeah. I mean, there's I was looking through. So when we did the interview preseason last year with Jay Busby of Yahoo Sports, and he wrote that book, Iron in the Blood. Well, I remember, I think I know a decent amount about that rivalry, right? I'm not from Alabama, but I've watched college football all my life. I kind of, I generally know. But that book gave me a lot more in depth about what that rivalry is, all the way back to when college football started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he talked a lot about the era with the Bear and Shug Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I don't know a lot about Shug, I'm going to look him up. Well, you go and look at Shug's record, and it's impressive, right? He's a great coach, but it's a roller coaster, man. Like, there are seasons where, okay, one year they were 11-1 or whatever it was, or 9-0-1, and then the very next year they were under 500.
Right.
Like, in this day and age, like, Shug Jordan's on the rocks. It's like, this guy's
gone.
He's done.
Well, to be fair, you just described every Auburn coach since ever.
Yeah.
We talked last week.
Malzahn,
we made the Jimbo joke last week, Boston, and I said, Gene Chizik, who was 14-0 and won a national title.
Right.
2 years later, they were 3-9, and he lost his job.
Right. The next year.
Orgeron, right? Ed Orgeron.
14-0, 8-5, 3-9. Done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I encourage folks to go look at Shug's record at Auburn and some of these things I'm talking about. So 1963, here's a good example, okay?
I'm going to look at Shug.
1958, 1959, 1960, they won above 7 games in each of those 3 seasons. The next 2 years, 1961, 62, they only win 6. Then they go up, and he goes 9-2 in 63, back down to 6-4 in 64, 5-5. All right, in 65, 4-6 in 66. After 66, Shug coached another 9 years at Auburn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens in today's day and age, 66, 4-6, 1967, you go 6-4. Year before that, 65, you're 5-5. You go 5-5 and 4-6 in back-to-back years. We do not care what you have done for the previous 10 years. You are gone. And he got another 9 years at Auburn.
And his name on the stadium.
That's right.
Name on the stadium.
That's right. Yeah. So it's just, it's a completely changed game. I mean, and that Shugs is an incredible testament to that. Like, that is the poster child for it. Because seriously, go look at it. It is like roller coaster the entire time at Auburn. And they had patience with him because they were like, okay, hey, we might suck for 2 years, but it's going to come back.
And for me, it's an interesting concept to talk about, because did we have more stability, or did we tolerate mediocrity more, or was it both? There's so many different ways you can go with the changing of mindsets from then to now.
I think it's part of it. I mean, I'm sure there's many factors to it. I think one is
we gave those guys way more institutional power. They were athletic directors.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
I think visibility with visibility comes lights, right? The lights are shining brighter on you. And up until, what was it, like the 80s and the 90s, did we really have – it was like one national game a week, And so – and now every single game is televised, and that just ratchets up the level of intensity and also the fan support or non-support. And I mean, think about it too. Like, back in those days, not only was there only like one game a week that was nationally televised, if you wanted to listen, hear what your team was doing, you had to either go to the game or you had to listen to it on the radio. Mm-hmm. But now we've got SEC Network, SEC Plus, ESPN, ABC, all of them, Fox, are televising these games. And then
people like us.
Exactly.
Right.
Doing nothing but the hot take stuff
constantly. Right. And you've got SEC Network on 24/7, right? You got Peter Burns and Doring and Alyssa Lang and everybody 24/7 talking about it.
I mean, if you take a time machine back and talk to those people, what's Conference USA and why do they play on Wednesdays? The game looks so different overall than it did back then.
Totally.
Midweek games and
and the other part of it too to me is money. You know, the athletic department's not operating with the amount of money that they do now, or the boosters.
In 1980, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss basically had the same budgets. There was a little bit more at State and Ole Miss, but not much, not enough to exactly matter. And that's why Southern was so good and they dominated during that period. And as it grew, now you have Ole Miss making $150 million a year athletic budget. State's up there somewhere around that, and State and Southern's at 30.
Yeah. There's a reason why up until like the last 10 years, the NFL teams back then did training camps at colleges because the facilities were better. Yeah. That's why they started doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still SEC teams, I think, that blow NFL teams out of the water. I mean, there's NFL teams that have done a better job, and they've, but not all of them. I mean, that's why the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys like have their issues, right? It was always like those guys want to go play there because, first of all, Jerry Jones is going to pay them, and he might, if they get to a second contract, he might pay him a stupid amount of money or trade him for something dumb, But at the very least, the Cowboys have incredible facilities. All their stuff is going to be top notch no matter what. And that you couldn't say that about all the NFL teams.
Right.
Yeah. Back in the day, like I watched did anybody watch the Joe Montana documentary on Peacock?
Yeah.
Where he was talking about, he was just on the phone and he was like, hey, I wonder if I can dial out from the press box phone whenever all of that. And he figured out he could call his wife at home from the field. I mean, the facilities, they just had a phone in that situation. You just hit 9 to dial out, and that's good. Before that, it's just an extension. That's what the press box was. It was, extension 3333, the offensive coordinator. It absolutely hilarious. Now there'd be basically secure walkie-talkies, and that's at Conference US, like Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State's going together on a Wednesday, and they got communications devices that the Ukraine would be excited about.
When today you couldn't even get on the Wi-Fi without knowing passwords in the stadiums and press boxes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Oh, by the way, one thing that before we get out of here, since we have about 15 minutes. Have y'all seen Will Wade's staff, his basketball staff?
Yeah.
It's all basically guys that got in trouble with the NCAA coaching basketball, including one at LSU.
Former head coach.
I'm not counting Will Wade, who also got in trouble and got fired at LSU. But 3 of his assistants, all of them have NCAA pass.
I mean, is he just kind of like just trying to slap it in the face of the NCAA at this point, or what's he doing?
Listen, they've embraced the villain.
Yeah, they have.
They have 100% done that, and so I honestly respect it. Between Mulkey and Kiffin and Wade, I don't know how Jay Johnson fits in this whole situation. That's just bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he knows either because he's talking about
going to MLB. Yeah. He said he's going to see how Vitello does.
Keeping his eye on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just look at it and he's like, well, Jay Johnson's kind of a good dude. Now, what is he? He just doesn't fit in. He's like the nerdy kid that gets picked last in dodgeball. All of these cool kids are going to be fighting over the NIL money, and all of a sudden the best program on the campus is going to get left behind. I think in the article that talked about that $50 million thing, LSU baseball was just kind of an afterthought on the list.
Yeah.
You wonder if Johnson gets sick of that. Does he just go back to the Big 12 and dominate there like he did with Arizona?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like
if I was if I was Texas A&M and I got wind that Jay Johnson was going to be on the block, I'd fire Michael Early right now. Bring me Jay Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, Michael, you're a nice guy, but Jay Johnson is probably he's top 3 coach in college baseball.
Absolutely.
It's like, why is he available? Oh, Jay Johnson's just too good of a guy.
You got to get a
Yeah,
villain.
that's what it is. I mean, he's not as much. He's not enough of an asshole.
He's not mean enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Although, hey, you got to give him credit where it's due. He'll get out of the dugout and start yelling at opposing batting coaches every once in a while. He's got to.
Yeah, but it's not like Kim Mulkey running smack like a WWE promo to nobody in a room, basically, kind of a tree falling in the forest and nobody's there to hear it type thing. And it's like nobody cares that you won a basketball game. Nobody. Quit.
And speaking of kind of that villain role and all that, but did y'all see Dan Hurley after UConn made that shot? He had his little shoulder, his jacket off on his shoulder, and he headbutted with the ref. Any other coach in this league in the NCAA would have had a tech, would have been thrown out of the game, but because he's a Hurley, he was okay. I think it's just by.
It's weird that they've kind of become like the first family, but the Mannings of basketball, essentially.
Right.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bobby did get fired at Arizona State.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Bobby was the good one.
Yeah.
You wonder now, is Bobby going to go be his assistant, or does he get a head job somewhere else? Because UConn's top assistant, Luke Murray, got the head job at Boston College.
Oh,
by the way, Luke Murray, his dad's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Cinderella story.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's pretty awesome to land Luke Murray. You're gonna have Bill there for some games, you'd think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least for his debut, his home opener.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I know Bill spends most of his time in Charleston, Hilton Head, South Carolina. He lives down there most of the time.
Okay.
But,
I like his cameo in Zombieland, Top Shelf. You didn't expect it when it happened.
Yeah.
No, he's just out there playing golf, pretending to be a zombie so they don't mess with him, so he can get 18 holes in.
That's so great.
That's amazing.
I don't know, man.
So my it's interesting to me about LSU. I think part of this was the governor, just to get on the Will Wade thing for a second, is so I'm looking back, I know he won while he was at LSU, right? Like they were winning games.
They were.
In 18-19, they finished the year ranked 12th in the country, and they got as high as number 9. And that year is when I think they lost in the Sweet 16, looks like. So he made the Sweet 16 once. He made round of 32 once, and he got knocked out in the first round in 2022, as he was basically getting fired after the whole thing.
His last year, I know they got knocked out in the first round.
Right. So, I mean, okay, an Elite Eight's great. That was in year 2. Won 20 games 3 times, including the year he got fired. But I mean, they're acting like this guy is a conquering hero coming back to LSU, and it's like, I mean, look, he had a really good year one time, right? And then after that, but I'm like, this guy, other than that, what has he won?
They haven't really been good since he's been gone, though.
That's what, right?
Yeah.
And so he's going to bring back some winning basketball, and maybe okay, we think that this guy is a good enough coach that he's going to be knocking on the door to get us in and potentially break through at some point. But I don't know. I've thought that I guess the fanfare around it to some degree is the villain thing, and the fact that he got canned a couple of years ago for some pretty egregious violations. I mean,
Very
FBI was involved. So, and now he's
Texas did that too. Sean Miller probably shouldn't be coaching if we're going by the rules. He's getting better jobs now.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we want to talk about like the triumvirate right over here, the Axis powers that LSU has assembled. Texas is not far behind. Okay,
they're not.
Ephesians on the side here, but Coach Schlossnagle, Sean Miller, like, I mean, there's two. There's at least two there.
Yeah,
they just need one more.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, everybody like, because of the Lane Kiffin stuff, they was like, we'll wait. Everything's like, we've got Chris Beard. Our coach made a national championship game. We're okay. We're good.
Yeah,
congratulations. Right. You know, we were in the Sweet 16 last year. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Not like he has any baggage or anything.
Oh yeah.
Which in his defense, I should say that he was not convicted of anything. I
right.
No,
that. He wasn't.
Yes.
Right.
No. And that's one of the things that you just don't sweep under the rug. I think people made their first impression and they're going to ride or die with it. Is what they did. But the reality is, if something was there, you don't sweep that under the rug so somebody can go coach a basketball game.
No, domestic abuse is different.
And you also made this point a couple of years ago, or, since the year and a half, 2 years I've known you, Steve, about with the state of Mississippi, how in some ways the bar is set lower there than it is at some other places too. So that might be a place where you can rehabilitate yourself.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Mississippi in general, they're completely fine with a bunker mentality. If you're coming at them and attacking them, considering what they went through in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it's almost like their baseline. They want that. They thrive in that because that's what they're used to.
Right.
So whenever
what happened in the 90s?
Whenever
I'm missing there.
Oh, that was the end of the rebel flag.
Okay. I was thinking that was 80s. All right.
In 2000s was the end of Colonel Rebel and Dixie. I mean, there was a lot of stuff where people have been coming after Mississippi over and over again. So the administration there is more tolerant of what's going on and can handle a barrage because they're used to it. That's the normal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason whenever Ole Miss was able to get Lane Kiffin, they could handle all of the shenanigans and things that were going on with Lane Kiffin because A, they were winning, and B, they can handle it. They're used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's why Mississippi State could take Jackie Sherrill that did have some baggage coming with him.
Yeah,
no,
Jackie.
That was all false UT rumors that took down Jackie Sherrill at Texas A&M. He was clean as a whistle.
Yeah, that's the reason he was working at a car lot when he got hired by Mississippi State. Can you imagine this? This isn't a Jimbo Fisher situation to where he's at an all-inclusive resort in Destin. No, he was at a car lot. He had to get to work.
Yeah.
Was he? That actually happened.
Yeah, he was in a car lot in Gulfport, Mississippi when he got hired by Mississippi State.
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
Which,
time, man.
Which kind of explains how his recruiting and everything worked. He would be a good used car salesman. Everybody joked about that, but that's literally the secondary career field he picked.
And my buddy, who was a Mississippi State undergrad at the time, there is a professor at Georgia now. But Joe Lee and the King. I mean, he loved Joe Lee Dunn and Sherrill. He loves both of them.
Yeah. Hey, Joey Dunn got to start with Ole Miss, and he pioneered the Red Death defense in the early 90s. They were really good in 92, 93, and 94, like number one in the country. And then when the NCAA did what the NCAA does and took down Ole Miss because they were getting good, Joey Dunn, after not getting the job that Tuberville got, Joey Dunn got sent him out, and State picked him immediately up.
Okay.
I thought Jackie Sherrill won a national title, but I guess I'm wrong. Oh, no, maybe. Well, no, I don't think he did. I think he got close. 1980. Maybe there was a split title then. I don't, because that was Georgia.
The Pittsburgh national title, that was Majors, right?
Yes.
Johnny Majors.
Right.
And so Jackie Sherrill replaced Majors when he went to Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah,
I can't imagine Jackie Sherrill.
It says here they were in one of Jackie's years. Yeah.
Okay, so that would have been 1980, I believe, because AP. Yeah, they finished second in the AP, which means it must have been split with coaches or something.
Yeah. And what year was that?
1980, which would have been Georgia, right? Split with Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know who Pittsburgh's D coordinator was on that team? Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking who's the Dave Wannstedt? Wasn't he there for a while? Maybe he was later.
He played there when Johnson was an assistant, and then that's how he got in with Jimmy. Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think he was the head coach at Pittsburgh at one time.
Yeah,
after everything had gone south. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, years later. Yeah, Pitt was they started the year 8th in 1981, got up to number 1, and then ended up losing and finished 4th, which that was the 81 was Clemson's year. Only title until Dabo.
Okay. And at 81, that Jimmy Johnson went to Oklahoma State that year as the head coach. He was only there for the 81 when they were
Okay. And then he got down to the U and it got awesome.
Yeah, after Stellenberger went to the USFL.
I mean, think about it. You live in a world where Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Hurricanes and Two Live Crews and all of that's coming together. Oh my gosh. There's a reason there's 2 30 for 30s about the U.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That time period was awesome. It's kind of a shame to me that the I look back on those years and watch those documentaries. The Orange Bowl was awesome, man. Why did we get rid of the Orange Bowl?
Yeah.
Hard Rock Stadium.
But I mean, both the Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl, as buildings, they are trash right now. They're just awful buildings.
That's what gives them the charm, Mike. It's like Fenway and Wrigley.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they're trash, but it's our trash.
Right.
Soldier Field, moving to Indiana. Yeah.
The Miami MLS team is about to open up their stadium. I think this weekend.
Yes. I saw that.
I'm curious to see if the Hurricanes worm their way back into Miami proper, playing there because that's inside the city.
How many seats does it have? That'll
about
be
40,000.
30?
Mm-hmm.
Not big enough for the Hurricanes.
Not big enough.
Not even close.
No.
Well, on certain
I will say
games,
the best MLS stadiums are the smaller ones that are made only for MLS.
Right.
Agreed.
Way better environments in them.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Atlanta United is good when they're good.
Do they play in the Dome?
Yeah.
Yeah. They play at Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have it set up when they built the stadium. They expand out like they got a couple bleachers that go back underneath the thing because the field gets a little bit wider.
Okay. I know in Minnesota theirs is it's by the Twin Stadium, but it's not necessarily close to where the Vikings and T-Wolves play.
Okay.
Because it's in St. Paul.
Okay.
Oh, it's in St. Paul?
Yeah. But I mean, it's just the other side of the river. Like you can see both of them, but yeah.
Okay. I think the Tigers next week, the beginning of next week, they take on the Twins. I think that's in Minneapolis.
Could be.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of our baseball talk from last week, Connor Griffin got called up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they gave him a massive contract extension without playing in the majors yet.
There you go.
They're working on one for McGonigal right now too.
Okay.
And which they're going to do that pretty quick. That kid's amazing.
Yeah.
That kid's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a compensation pick out of it too.
They avoided Griffin's service time rule by giving him a 9-year, $140 million extension.
Yeah.
And
at that point they just called him up immediately.
Yes.
I like this whole era with the Pirates spending money. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to think about that.
We're in a weird timeline right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the Florida Marlins are winning like crazy. The Pirates are spending.
Yeah. Well, what is going on? Anyway, 2 minutes, boys. 2 minutes. So
2 minutes.
Anyway, this has been SEC After Dark with your boys, Stephen Willis, Boss Man, Mike Huseman, and I'm Jake Thomas. Thank you all for joining us tonight. You can catch us live every Thursday night right here. You can catch Steve live, on his show, Locked On Ole Miss. Probably you do what? 6, 7, 8, 12 episodes a week. It's crazy.
Let's see, 2 a day. It's about 14. Yeah.
Wow.
And sometimes
great news,
I do,
guys.
Sometimes I
Great
do.
news. The Gamecocks just took down the number 2 Longhorns 9-1.
Oh
yes.
Everybody did. There you go. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Stephen Willis.
Ole Miss is one out away from taking down the Florida Gators.
Nice.
All right.
There you go. That's good. That's good help there, Mike, because you got to blunt the momentum of the Horns. They swept Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
Losses washed up. You guys didn't need them. Yeah.
I think they play us next, maybe.
Auburn's beating Arkansas 10-1. What's happened to the Hogs? This will be 4 or 5 losses in a row for them.
5 straight.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough.
Vandy's up 12-8 on the Aggies in the 9th.
I don't like that.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, good for Corey.
Yeah.
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 Yep. There's that one.
Bama's beating Oklahoma 10-4 in the 8th.
Dang, come. Okay. I don't know what's happened to Alabama here lately. After getting swept in Lexington, they've turned a switch.
Red hot.
Yeah.
Red hot.
Anyway, Boss Man, one half of Biscuits and SEC. What y'all got coming up here in the next episode?
We're gonna have a lot of fun here. So I think we'll see if we start it next week. I think we're gonna try and start it next week. But we also got the Final Four we got to talk about. So we'll figure it out. Maybe have some news. But what we're looking at either next week or in 2 weeks is we had a good discussion about this a couple of weeks ago and wanted to build on it. And Mike had a great idea to build on it, actually. And so we're going to be talking about Hank and I, Hammer and I, independently are going to be building our what does a Super League look like and who gets in and who gets out.
Ooh.
And
I want to be on that draft. Yeah.
Also, if this is a total hypothetical. I would love this. I think it would be a lot of fun. We could talk about it on here too.
Yeah.
If you guys want, but what if college football adopted a relegation system like European soccer?
We talked about that.
So if we get the Super League, what's going on with who would be like the first team out, right, on relegation the first time that it got that the Super League got formed, right? And so I think it'd be a ton of fun as a thought exercise. So I think we're going to spend probably about 2 weeks on that, either starting next week or in 2 weeks. So that's on the horizon. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The ADs are too risk averse for relegation.
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
But hey, this sport thrives on chaos. We love chaos.
It does.
Football. That would add a whole nother element of chaos that would be fun.
Relegate them to the UFL and then like Birmingham Stallions, somebody can come up and play. Because they're still really good, but
hey, we've got you've got teams, Montana
yeah,
State,
right, FCS, yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Bring them up.
Those guys win a national title, and you sucked this year, horribly sucked.
Right,
Flip them, right?
Yep.
You still can come back, but you better win.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Be fun.
Yep.
They will be talking about that too, Rick. Yep.
Always, Rick. Yep.
Missions.
Captain Biscuit, we can always count on you.
Down below me there, Mike Huseman. Mike, all season after dark, killing it as always. You mentioned that Sam Houston is next on your show.
Yes. So. Yeah, that'll be next. Well, we'll record. It'll probably go live Tuesday morning. But
yes, that's gonna be a fun episode. I'm Jake Thomas. Talk Live, Bama After Dark. It's kind of in work in progress right now. I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do there, but I'm going to get back into it probably over the summer, get some more time and everything. But collectively, we are SEC After Dark, and we're back here every Thursday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern time, and we have a great time. We thank you all for being here, and we will see you on the next one. Y'all have a great night, and good night. And